Hello, in today's video we're showing more of our time in Orlando from October of last year. If you remember from a previous video, this is part of footage that I thought I'd lost, but now that I've recovered it, even though it's late getting it out, I thought I'd share it anyway. We'll review more food from the Food and Wine Festival and show more ride footage from our time in the Disney parks. With that, here we go. From Wine and Wedge, we got the Boursin fig and balsamic souffle with fig tapenade, the southern pimento cheese with bread and butter pickled vegetables and grilled bread, and the assorted artisanal cheeses and accompaniments. The Boursin souffle in the bread bowl was so delicious. The bread was light and fluffy and almost like a croissant type of bread. The center was creamy and slightly sweet from the balsamic and fig flavors. I'd give this one a 7 out of 10 and would get it again. Romar enjoyed the pimento cheese with vegetables more than I did. I'm not a fan of the bread and butter pickle flavor, even for vegetables. I prefer dill, which may not have worked for this dish. Overall, the veggies were crisp and crunchy and paired well with the cheese, according to Romar. I didn't think it was bad, but not to my tastes. Romar gave this a 6 out of 10 and I'd give it a 4 out of 10. I think we both enjoyed the artisanal cheeses. I'm a cheeseaholic, so it's hard to go wrong with cheese as far as I'm concerned. Some had a nutty flavor while others were softer and smoother. I feel that with the accompaniments, just about anyone could have found a combination that they'd enjoy. Romar and I agreed that this was a 9 out of 10. We've had better charcuterie boards, but for a sample at a festival, this was pretty darn good. After that decent start to our day, we made our way to the Hawaii booth where we got the Kahlua pork slider with sweet and sour Dole pineapple chutney and spicy mayo, the passion fruit cheesecake with toasted macadamia nuts, and the Spam sushi with rice, teriyaki glazed Spam, spicy mayo, eel sauce, and nori. The Kahlua pork slider was very good. We both enjoyed the blend of savory pork with the sweet and sour flavor of the chutney. We'd rate this dish an 8 out of 10. The passion fruit cheesecake was just okay this year. It felt less fresh than years past. It had a mass-produced taste to it, if that makes sense, which I get why they do that, but some desserts are better in small batches. This would be one of them. We gave this dish a 6 out of 10. The Spam sushi was pretty good. It tasted like regular sushi, but with Spam instead of fish. We liked it okay, but it wasn't one of our favorites of the dishes we tried during the festival. We gave this dish also a 6 out of 10. Maybe skip the sushi if it's offered next festival and get the other two. After all that, we took a break and rode the Grand Fiesta Tour inside the Mexico Pavilion. This is an indoor dark water ride that's cute and relaxing. It's kind of a nice break from a lot of the outside noise once it gets going. After the ride, we paid our annual visit to the miniature village that is always on display in Epcot. This is a cute little village with a couple working model trains. A fun kind of Easter egg to note is that they will change the banners on the posts to match the current festival in the miniature village. Later that day, we went to the Australia booth where we got the grilled sweet and spicy bushberry shrimp with pepper, onion, snap peas, and coconut chili sauce, and the roasted lamb chop with mint pesto and potato crunchies. Romar really enjoyed the shrimp dish. He said the sweet and spicy shrimp went well with the coconut chili sauce. He gave this dish an 8 out of 10. I don't like shrimp much, so I let him enjoy that one all by himself. We both really enjoyed the roasted lamb chop. It was tender, but not over or underdone. Romar enjoyed the mint pesto, and we both gave this dish a 10 out of 10. We'd definitely get this one again. From the Canada booth, we got the Canadian cheddar and bacon soup served with a pretzel roll and the Canadian filet mignon served with mushrooms, boursin black truffle, and sea salt mashed potatoes and whipped butter. So I love a good cheese soup, and this version did not disappoint. It was creamy and savory and a perfect comfort food if you're looking for that type of dish. We both gave this one a 10 out of 10 and would get it again. We also really love the filet mignon. The mushrooms and mashed potatoes paired perfectly with the potato, also being creamy and fluffy. We both gave this dish a 10 out of 10 as well. The Canada booth was probably one of our favorites from the 2023 festival. Later that same week, we reserved a dinner at Paddlefish in Disney Springs. They start you off with a delicious bread. For appetizers, we got the fried green tomatoes, which were excellent. The corn elote on top paired really well with the tomatoes. For my main dish, I ordered the crab top fries, which are skin-on French fries with blue crab and a Louis dressing. This is normally an appetizer, but I just had it as my main course. The fries were very good. The blue crab was light and flaky and not too fishy. I enjoyed the flavor of the dressing, though it's hard to describe what it tastes like. Overall, I'd give this dish an 8 out of 10. Romar ordered their catch of the day, which was a whitefish. They came with couscous, garden vegetables, and tropical salsa. He enjoyed this dish a lot. The fish was cooked well with a nice sear, and the veggies were nice and tender but not mushy. The couscous was okay. We don't eat that a lot, so can't compare it to others, but it wasn't bad. We gave this dish a 7.5 out of 10. After a long day at work, we made our way back to Epcot for some more Food and Wine Festival eats. From the Alps booth, we got the warm raclette Swiss cheese with baby potatoes, cornichons, and a baguette. We also got the dark chocolate fondue with berries, pound cake, and meringue, which was a plant-based option. We've always loved the raclette, and this time was no different. The cheese was nice and gooey, and the potatoes were a great vessel to eat the cheese with. We gave this dish a 9 out of 10. The fondue was okay. If you've ever been to the Melting Pot restaurant, it reminds me of that, but the Melting Pot is definitely better. The dish was okay, but not something I'd have gotten more than once. I'm not huge on dark chocolate, and the berries were okay, but the whole dish was kind of bland. We gave this dish a 5 out of 10. There were definitely better desserts and sweets in the park. Our last dishes from the Food and Wine Festival were from Char and Chop, where we got the roasted porchetta with lemon parsley salsa verde and shaved fennel salad, as well as the meat assorti with shaved meats, baby arugula, pickled mustard seeds, truffle oil, and grilled ciabatta. The porchetta was nice and tender and juicy and had a great flavor. The salsa verde was an interesting topping. We liked the dish okay. We gave it an 8 out of 10. The meat assorti was okay. It was basically a charcuterie board, and I do love charcuterie boards, but this was all salty stuff with nothing to counter it, like there were no jams or honeys or even nuts to help combat with the saltiness of the meat and mustard. I liked the truffle oil and the meats for the most part, but there was no depth to this dish. We gave it a 4 out of 10. There were definitely better dishes to be had at the festival. So that's it from the Disney World trip we did last October. Shorter video than usual, but wanted to get this out there. We hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you in the next one.